Hey y'all. So it's been a hot minute since I last uploaded a video, and for that I do apologize. Life these past few months has just been crazy, and this just hasn't been a priority. But I'm hoping to kind of get back into the swing of things. So originally my plan was to play some NASCAR 25, but then I remembered that it doesn't come out on Steam until like November 11th or something, and I don't have gaming systems. If I'm gonna play anything, it's on the PC. And then I thought about doing some iRacing, but because it's been so long since I've been on iRacing, I think honestly since I made my last video, I have had to do all kinds of updates, not only on iRacing, but also my computer, because I don't think my computer has been turned on in that long either, honestly. So then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do a little like weekend race recap, because we just had the Talladega playoff race for NASCAR, and F1 was at COTA this weekend. So I had both races on. I had NASCAR on my TV and then Formula One on my iPad. So I was mainly focusing on NASCAR, but I did see like bits and pieces of the F1 race. From what I saw, it wasn't the most exciting race. Max dominated the whole way through. But it was a good race in terms of points for Lando versus Oscar. So I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I am a huge fan of both Lando and Oscar, and I really want one of them to win the championship this year. Now, if I had it my way, I'd have Lando win this year and then Oscar next year. Really, the only reason for that is Lando, one, has been in F1 longer, but has also been at McLaren longer, and I just think it would be really cool if he won it first. But I honestly don't really care. I would just love for one of them to win the championship this year. But as somebody who wants Lando to get it if he can, this weekend was really good for him in terms of points. So Lando finished second and picked up 18 points, whereas Oscar finished fifth, I believe, and only picked up 10 points. So that was an 8-point advantage to Lando, which is awesome, especially at this point in the season where if he's going to win the championship, every single point is going to count. It does suck that in the sprint race, both of them were taken out on the first corner of the first lap. So no points from the sprint race, which obviously then made it extra important. I mean, for both of them to get points, because Max won and he's definitely not out of it. It's gonna take a lot for him to get the 5th title, but he's definitely not out of it. So this was a really good day for Lando, and I'm just really happy that he was able to get that second place finish and pick up those 8 points on Oscar. That will really help going forward, as that point separation is starting to come closer and closer together. Let's see, as far as NASCAR this weekend, I don't believe I was able to watch all of the truck race, but I did watch the end of it. Gio Rosario, if I butchered that, my bad, got the win, which was exciting for him. This is his very first win, so super cool. Yesterday's Xfinity race, I honestly don't even remember if it was a good race or a bad race. Like, I have no recollection. I know I watched the entire race, but I don't like have much recollection of the race. But Austin Hill got the win, and I'm not an Austin Hill fan at all. So that was a bummer. On the bright side, though, both Connor Zilisch and Justin Allgaier are locked into the Final Four on points. And as a JM Motorsports fan, that's awesome. I'm actually really hoping that all 4 cars in the Championship 4 will be JRM. And it could legitimately happen. Like, if everything goes right next week at Martinsville, that's a real possibility, and I just think that would be super cool. Today's Cup race, there was some chaos and carnage, which is typical. It wasn't necessarily the most exciting race, though, in my opinion. And as a Hendrick Motorsports fan, it honestly went about as badly as it could have gone. Especially because my favorite driver is Chase Elliott, and he got caught up in a wreck very early on and finished dead last. So we just love that, honestly. And then as we were getting down towards the end, Joey was in the lead and Ryan Blaney was in second, and I'm also a really big Ryan Blaney fan. So I was like, okay, like, this will be great. Like, Chase finishing last, I will definitely take a Ryan Blaney win. Like, I think that would be awesome. And then there was a caution, and both Joey and Ryan pitted to make sure that they were good to go on fuel, which is understandable. But that put them a ways back, and they were just kind of out of the picture then. But on that final restart, William restarted first and Kyle Larson restarted second, and I was like, yes, like, let's go get it. I really wanted William to win, only because I think Larson should be pretty good to go on points. Well, William is below the cut line, so I was like, let's do this. And then Larson ran out of gas, and William got a bad push from Carson Hocevar and got spun, which was just, you know what, icing on top of the cake today. And then Chase Briscoe got the win, which I have nothing against Chase Briscoe. Honestly, I really like him, and I am genuinely really happy for him and that 19 team. But at this point, I honestly would have taken any non-playoff driver over him, because we already have Denny locked into the Final Four, and I am not a Denny Hamlin fan when he is in his race car. And I have 4 drivers who still could have moved on to the Final Four. And so Briscoe getting that win was really disappointing for me as a fan. So anyways, you know, Talladega is always crazy, and she did the same thing she always does today. So Martinsville next week will be interesting. Thankfully, it's a track that Chase historically has had a lot of success at. But yeah, we'll see, because he has to win in order to move on. So I'm really hoping that things go his way next weekend. So yeah, I guess, you know what? That's what it's gonna be today. Just a little weekend race recap. Yeah, I guess if any of you guys have any thoughts on the racing this weekend. Also, this playoff format. So there's been a lot of talk for a long time, but I feel like there's been a ton of talk recently about the playoff format and potentially changing it, and what the best option would be if they were to change it. And I honestly would just love to go back to every race counts, and whoever has the most points at the end of the season, that's your champion. But honestly, at this point, I would take anything over what we have right now, because I feel like, not that the drivers who have won championships in recent years haven't been good, they just haven't been the best driver, like, of that year. There's only a couple in somewhat recent years I can think of who I feel like were actually, like, the best drivers and most consistent throughout the year. So I really wish that we would get away from the playoff system that we have now and go back to either every race counting, or I don't even know, but just something different. So I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that as well. Hopefully it will not be a million years before I upload another video. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I do hope to see you in the next one, whenever that may be. Bye.